Ain't war hell?
The Junkers Ju-288 is a German rank 4 5.7 BR medium bomber that is proof that Gaijin really doesn't care about such pesky things as balance. This mobile concentration camp is the result of the Germans wanting to upgrade their Ju-88 and Ornia 17 medium fast bombers, instead of building large long-range bombers or enough planes to actually win a fucking war. In real life, this prototype was only used for photo recon as there was no fuel, spare parts or working landing gear for it. In the game, this is one of the most broken planes at its BR, with only a few planes being able to reliably take it out. So, how's the performance? The Junkers has two DB610 engines with a combined maximum power of 5,688 Prussian Chad horses, meaning it can outrun pretty much anything it will face, and is good for diving away from an engagement. The only real problem is that the maximum dive speed is a little over 400 miles per hour. So it's sometimes a good idea to cut the engines to save overheating, or use the air brakes in an emergency. It also turns relatively well for a bomber and climbs decently, but don't try dogfighting anything with frontal armament or you'll lose speed. Remember, speed is your armor, as well as the totally not broken self-sealing fuel tanks that will extinguish fire 90% of the time.
Jawohl!
Finally, the overall construction is like the German economy recently, sturdy but not completely reliable. You can generally limp back to base with badly damaged wings, and it can fly okay on one engine. But if you suffer serious performance damage, your job is not to hang around like some idiot American bomber pilot, but to run away. Speaking of armor, let's talk about armament. The Ju-288 has 3 remotely controlled turrets with 2 MG131 13mm machine guns, and these are kind of ineffective except for maybe damaging Japanese planes stupid enough to dive on you, as well as having enough tracer to give people BV-238 flashbacks. The real hard hitter is the rear MG151 20mm cannon with mine shells. This means you effectively have the frontal firepower of a Bf-109G series, and every stupid fucking idiot lightly armored fighter pilot will attempt to sit on your tail as you blast their face and engine full of those sweet schnitzels. When it comes to bombs, you only have one real choice, that being the 2 1800 kilo beer jugs that go into your bomb bay like a Syrian refugee on a truck into Germany, nice and tightly. This gives you the ability to destroy 2 bases in one run, or several NPC tanks or an entire cap point. Speaking of which, how do you play the Führer's paint train? To begin with, load minimum fuel. Since the Reich hasn't captured the Caucasus, load whatever you want for the 13s and universal belts for the 20mm, the 1800 kilo bombs, and set a 2-second timer for them, lest you want to recreate downfall.
Tut mir leid, ich gehe nirgendwo mehr hin.
As discussed, this plane likes to go fast and ideally doesn't want to be swarmed by fighters, but take them one at a time behind you. So here is what you do. Go for the bases and dive at a constant speed of about 380 miles per hour. If you use manual engine controls, it's wise to open the radiators and maybe turn off the engines, to avoid going too fast and to save them from overheating like every German tank post 1941. Level off at about 500 to 1000 meters. Bomb as many bases as you can, as there's always fucking 3 of you on one team, and head back. If you have any spare bombs, feel free to nuke AI tanks. On your way back, you need to stay vigilant. If you see an idiot going for you, dive to ground, level and keep your speed high, and always face away from him as much as possible. If you can, you will accelerate away from him and return to base, but if he has the energy advantage, be prepared to shoot him down. Killing the pilot is your ideal aim here as it will prevent you dying, but aiming for the engines generally guarantees you will get the kill, even if you don't make it. If the game is reaching later stages, bombing the airfield can be time consuming, so going after large groups of ground targets, or strafing light vehicles with your turrets is recommended, as well as going bomber hunting. We now need to discuss the upgrades for HARMS. Schmidt, Victor and Klaus. For your pilot you want to upgrade vitality, since he has about as much protection from enemy fire as every East German woman had from Russian troops, followed by awareness and keen vision to spot idiot allied teams thinking they can fuck with you. Your gunners need to be trained to know how to actually fire their guns, and as such take accuracy and precision. But above all, vitality, as the only bad German is a dead German. Finally, upgrading weapon maintenance is essential for not having your guns jam when you try ramming too many sausages per minute, and repair and reload boosts will mean you spend less time listening to Eric on the runway telling you how good his Ersatzfood is. By following these simple instructions from the Reichsluftfahrtministerium, you will understand that this is the correct way to play the Junkers Ju-288. Now go out there and watch as allied teams waste themselves on your blessed Mein Jesches rounds.